Alright, yeah. Tough Crowd, episode 4. This one's Jim Norton, Nick Paolo, Janeane, Garofalo, Shannon. I don't know who the last two are. Jim Norton and Nick Paolo, they've been on every episode so far, I think. But yeah, let's go.
This show is important. This show is important. Now you might say, well, if it's so important, why would they only give you 8 episodes? Well, that's a good question. It's a really good question. Why do I only have 8 episodes? Doesn't matter. Tonight we're talking about immigration. The whole country is loaded with immigrants, as we know. But no matter what you think, if they should be here or not, you have to admit they're hard workers, the hardest workers in the country. You go to the Korean deli, you got the 40-year-old guy stocking the shelves while the 8-year-old kid works the register, you know? Meanwhile, there's 3 Mexicans outside guarding 11 bruised peaches, you know? And they got that 102-year-old grandfather sitting on a crate at 3 o'clock in the morning picking snow peas in 10-degree weather. His first 80 years was like he spent in idyllic Sukong Delta. His last 2 years on Earth, he's like wrestling a pack of sour cream and onion potato chips out of some kid's North Face. Well, immigration. Give us you're tired, you're poor, but leave the guy with the ticking Quran back in Saudi Arabia, please. I don't like the fact that every minority piggybacks on the black experience of racism either. People come here from all over the world, they get here, jobs, whatever, fine. But then they call America racist because one hillbilly community leader dares to question their presence. Hey, we even let Russell Crowe run around punching our American citizens in the face and we give him awards for it. And realistically, people say close the borders. You can't close the borders. What are you going to do, build a wall? Even if you built a wall, the work would be so hard, we have to get a bunch of Mexicans to come over here and do it. A lot of people don't do.
It's crazy that they was talking about the wall back then. And you think Trump put it into action, so it's not like Trump just pulled that out the air then. It's been talked about in America for ages.
That kind of work. Now listen, stop all immigration from now. That's the question there. Jim, before I start, may I say, sadly, that is probably your nicest sweater, isn't it? Yes. You actually got up today and you looked in the mirror and you said, yeah, this is the one for tonight. That's really miserable. But what do you think? Should we stop all immigration for now, Jim?
Well, dressed like Alex Rieger, yes, I think we should. Yeah, you got to stop immigration, and there is a way to do it. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is put up a bunch of landmines around the border and have it patrolled by coyotes with AIDS.
Well, it's a way. He's not saying it's the most sympathetic way. Anybody else want to say
I'd
immigration?
like to tie that AIDS thing does have something to do with immigration. Did you see the Haitians jumping off the boat in Miami?
Right. Oh, yes. A few weeks
1 in
ago.
7 Haitians has AIDS. Even the sharks weren't biting these people. One guy got bit, and like the shark died before he did. But look.
All right. What about Middle Easterners? Is it racist to not worry about anyone coming over except Middle Easterners? Is it racist
Nick is fucking great.
to single them out?
I need to start watching more Nick DiPaolo, like just Nick stuff. Because yeah, he's fucking funny. But yeah, let's go.
As not getting, issued visas.
Only single out the people from countries that end with the word "stan."
It's not a bad idea.
Really?
I'm from Texas, and we have an immigration problem, but then we have no problem getting our grass cut, our dishes washed, or our oil changed. So it's not a bad thing.
Well, what about that? What about the fact that these immigrants do a lot of American jobs? Anybody?
Who was doing it before they got here? Americans.
We were as the immigrants. We were the original immigrants, all of us.
Okay, so they got to put their time in. Tough crowd.
No, I agree, but now the problem with that is kind of when we were the immigrants, we came over and we had it tough, but you had like a 3-week boat ride and it like weeded out all the weaklings, so only the strong survive.
Yeah.
Now, like you take a 3-hour plane ride, you're here in the country, so you don't even work for it.
It's not even racist, though. It's not racist. It's not that you don't want people coming here. It's just like it's Middle Eastern men. Nobody minds big-titted models from Sweden showing up.
Well,
That is a point.
Janeane, you're understandably in shock at this point. You like to talk about, I don't know, bilingual. Let's talk about bilinguality. A lot of people get mad at bilinguality.
Is there
and they
such a
pronounce
word
it correctly.
as
Oh,
bilinguality?
no, I was hoping you wouldn't call me on that. Damn it, Janeane. No, there's not. Bilingual.
But
Whatever.
bilingual.
I have the same problem when I try to say Christina Aguilera. And I do try to say that.
Well, actually, I don't know why so many people get so upset with the possibility that there's a share, more than one language in this country, especially when Americans expect that when they travel abroad that everyone's going to speak American, and if they don't, somehow the American traveler English somehow that the American traveler somehow put off by that. I don't think it's a bad thing to have a multilingual culture.
You know why it's a bad thing? Because I can't go into Dwayne Reed and get a pack of gum in under 20 minutes.
There it is.
I know it's not a big thing.
The voice of reason,
I know.
Paolo.
I think it's bad if we try to make it, mandatory. I think that's a bad thing. But no, the different languages, the more people know, it's beautiful. And you go to Montreal, they know the guy picking up garbage knows English and French. So you feel like an idiot. You're like going, wow, you pick up garbage and you know 2 languages? Hell, I know one and I butcher it.
It seems to be only Americans that have a problem with being multilingual, whereas other countries.
That's because in our country we have 1,000 different cultures.
But I don't think it's a
1,000
problem.
different languages. It's not a problem in France. Deodorant's a problem, but the language. I know that was hacky, but I was on the spot.
Well, no, ultimately you need one language, one common language at least. It's not that other people can't speak other languages. But ultimately, if you're going to move to America, you're going to have to speak English. Right? Or if you come here, you're going to have to speak English. If you go to France, you're going to have to speak French at some point. Like just to fucking fit in. So yeah, it's one thing to say, oh, it's good to have different languages, and yeah, sure. That's great, but how the fuck are you going to do anything? And how the fuck are you... Do you know what I mean? You're just making your life even harder. You would think if you move to a country you would want to learn. Like it should be made like a... not a law, but like it should be... It should be, yeah, taught. Because otherwise how the fuck can they do anything? How the fuck can you function without actually speaking the language of the country that you're in? Like, it's different if you're going on holiday, but if you're going to live there, you better fucking learn that country's language. But yeah, let's go. And even when you go on holiday, you go on holiday for somewhere, you go to Portugal for 2 weeks, and by the end of the 2 weeks, you've picked up Portuguese words. You go fucking, yeah, wherever. After a few days, you learn how to say fucking please, thank you, where's this, where's that, whatever, who's that, just shit, swearing. You'd learn something in even in 2 weeks. But yeah, let's go.
I got a camera on me.
Well, what about this question that'll probably bring this to a horrible screeching halt?
I thought I did that.
What if we do monitor? How would you monitor immigration? Isn't it really just like the government's like, look, we pretend everyone's or roust up some Mexicans, put it on the front page of the paper and say, hey, INS is working. You can't stop immigration. You can't monitor people coming in. Nobody can. It's not only is it out of control, there's nothing you could do. All right, that's not a question. Don't you think the government just pretends there's something you can do and really people sit around arguing about this, but there's really no answer?
Why is there no answer? Put the military. Why not? It's not that tough.
It's too big. It's the borders are too
Please.
big. It's impossible.
It isn't. It isn't.
Okay, we'll be right back when we talk about sexual harassment. If you hold on.
Yeah, but you know what Nick's talking about? A very logical answer is get the American military to stop it. If you acted like them people coming are invading your country, they're coming illegally, and they are invading your country, and you set the military on them, do you think that they'd just keep coming? It's like, nah. I mean, you might get some, but the chances are if you put the American military all along that border, do you think a fucking rat would get through? Nah. And especially after a few people come and you fucking blast them away. You say, if you come anywhere near the border, yeah, we'll shoot you. And then you do it. That's the truth of it. There is an answer for it. It's just that in our society we don't allow such things. At least not to be seen so publicly anyway. But yeah, let's go.
I don't know if Janeane will stay, but we're hoping she'll stay, so we're going to have to hold her down so that she can't. Well, we all know stories about sexual harassment in the workplace, yes? It's late at night, you're sitting there. What the hell was that? It's late at night, you're sitting there, the boss comes over, he's breathing alcohol and cigarette breath onto your neck and whispering, I'll give you a weekend update if you do it. All right, I'll do it. Yeah. Sorry, I blacked out for a minute. Seriously, though, a lot of women are placed in uncomfortable situations, and even some guys. So the point is, what is the climate? Is the only answer to ban flirting and joking in the office?
No, because the guy's not going to show up for work. I mean, why does a guy who's been married 20 years, 3 kids, what do you think? You think he wants to go to the tire factory? I mean, he's there to... He wants to see the secretary with the nice tits, you know. Seriously.
He's right.
True, but bleak.
Everybody's too sensitive.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to spread good cheer, but...
No. He's absolutely right. Everybody is too... You can't even, like, little innocuous things are not taken as offensive and vicious. Where, like, as a male, if you see a female coworker and she has a nice outfit, and you go, hey, Toots, nice camel toe. All of a sudden, you're a bad guy.
Well, but see, for an example, that was inappropriate here. But, like, where is some things... Like, if you go to somebody at Mardi Gras, show me your tits, everyone thinks that's okay. But if you say it's like Katie Couric on the Today Show, it's inappropriate. So does it matter where you work for these things?
Well,
That's
who
my other
wants to see her tits in the first place? Look.
Yeah. Now, look, Chris Rock is famous for the routine that... well, you wish he was here now doing it, Mac.
Come on out, Chris.
Chris Rock did the routine about sexual harassment. He said if Clarence Thomas looked like Denzel Washington, they wouldn't even call it sexual harassment because it's only ugly guys. If he looked like Denzel, he'd go, hey, I put a pubic hair in your Coke, and she'd be like, oh, Clarence, you're so nasty, and start laughing. Now, Janeane, do you feel that there's a...
Who said that as well about girls that say they like a sense of humour? It's like, no, they just laugh for shit good-looking boys say.
certain amount of truth to looks affecting like how people feel they're treated sexually?
Probably, but it goes both ways. There's both genders would be guilty of responding to that. But you know where there's another level, if I may introduce this to the dialogue or debate here, of this debate of sexual harassment. I feel I'm being sexually harassed by HBO. I cannot take any more of their supposed documentaries, which are these like last night was Cat House, G-String Divas, Real Sex, documentaries that they are harassing me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that they keep foisting the sex trade upon the audience and making it look like tons of fun. You know what I mean? Like they isn't this exciting?
Under the guise of being,
they're
authentic.
pretending it's a documentary. So I feel like I'm being sexually harassed by HBO.
Yeah, well, even those hookers at the point thing. I mean, those things.
That's the only one that borders on showing you how bleak a lifestyle it can
That's
be.
what I'm saying. It's the only one I like too. The other ones. It's terrible. I agree with Janeane. You guys are pigs. Now listen. Janeane, now, you are the woman, but have you ever been sexually harassed
No.
other than by the HBO people?
No,
I guess we won't be seeing
haven't.
your special this year. Now listen.
No.
I like on the news when they always introduce it as sexual harassment.
Yeah.
When they call it that, because I guess harassment, I guess is too much like her ass, so it's like, oh, so the news guy, harassment.
Is that where that came from? Yeah.
It has to be.
I believe it.
That looks like a shot.
No, it wasn't a shot. I was just asking.
I don't know. Look.
That looks like a shot. Does he not know who he's hanging around with? Did you see Nick's face now? When that matey has not got a laugh yet. And it sounds like what he's going to say is funny, but it just doesn't go to funny. It sounds like it's going to be, but it's just... He hasn't hit one yet.
Harassed
No.
other than by the HBO people?
Watch Nick's face.
No,
I guess we
I
won't be seeing
haven't.
your special this year. Now listen.
No.
I like on the
HBO.
news when they always introduce it as sexual harassment.
Yeah.
When they call it that, because I guess Harassment, I guess it's too much like her ass, so it's like, oh, so the news guy, harassment.
Is that where that came from? Yeah.
It has to be.
I believe it.
That looks like a shot.
No, it wasn't a shot. I was just asking.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like a shot.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
Maybe it was a shot and I didn't know it.
Okay.
But it's true. They say if like women say if it's an ugly guy, it's a harassment, right? If
Right.
It's a good-looking
Do
guy.
they?
Was she saying the same thing with
Well, no, it works.
But actually, it works both ways.
It does work both ways.
Yeah.
But who would you rather have your ass grabbed by? Cameron Diaz or Cameron Manheim? I mean,
But it's the same thing. You're right. Janine's right. It does go both ways. It's like I'm a hypocrite when I complain about that because I treat better-looking women differently. If I hook up with a nice girl, I walk her downstairs, I get her a cab. If
Give
she's
her 50
fat,
bucks.
Yeah, I'll pay her. If she's fat, if she's fat, I yell fire and then close the door after she runs out.
See, there's a method to his madness. All right, well, that is the segment. I don't care if it's short.
That bitch didn't like that joke. And now I know who it is because one of Artie's jokes he likes to do is in the Conan sign, Janeane Garofalo played the C. Mike Bichetti played the O, and he said Janeane Garofalo. Now I know who she is, her. But did you see her face when Jimmy did that joke?
Fat. If she's fat, I yell fire and then close the door after she runs out.
Hashtag fuming.
See, there's a method to his madness. All right, well, that is the segment. I don't care if it's short. I don't really give a damn. We'll come back with something else. Let's face it, folks, there's also different standards among different cultures. Janine, for example, I've actually seen girls get, like, mauled by guys, and I go, what's up with that? She said, no, he's from Italy. He's from Europe. You know, like, that's okay because he's from Europe. Hey, I'm from Brooklyn. Can I grab your tit? You know what I mean? Don't you think that different cultures women would be more allowing of a guy from Italy to touch them than a guy from the show?
I guess I think it would depend on the person. It's a case-by-case basis. I don't think there'd be a lot of women that would be comfortable having, whether it be an Italian man or an English man, grabbing them or mauling them. If you're saying mauling, I don't think anybody's comfortable with that.
even like an Afghani woman who's not been touched.
Hey, these next 2 minutes of commercials, there it goes again. The show is really finished. These next 2 minutes of commercials should give you time to realize that we're doing a good thing. Thank you. After the scintillating conversation I just had with my panel of comedians over there, in this last segment, I thought it might be more interesting if I talked to a 7-year-old. Say hello to Christina Anbry. Christina, hi. How are you?
It's Christiana Cullen.
Okay, Christiana. And, Christina, let me just ask you a couple of questions. What do you want for Christmas this year?
Clothes and baby doll clothes and stuff.
And is there something really special you want more than anything?
A horse.
Are you going to buy your parents something this year?
Maybe.
Wasn't Christmas much more fun when you were younger? You didn't have other people to get gifts for? Don't you feel almost a sense of dread as December approaches now?
They're crazy.
Don't you think the fact we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior by knocking 25% off the George Foreman grill means that we've over-commercialized Christmas? Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe in Santa Claus?
No.
Oh. Is that because you're older now and you figured it out on your own, or because you were never gullible enough to believe such a person could exist in a world with hatred and death and despair? Speaking of which, why don't you tell me that story you were just telling me on the before we came on, when you used to live on 8th Avenue?
These guys were drunk and they kind of hurt another guy really bad and took all his money.
And you said it was gushing with blood? Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Well, this is the kind of things our kids are exposed to. I think we're really opening up something here. Don't you think it's ironic that the place where our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was born, Bethlehem, is now the middle of where Jews and Arabs needlessly slaughter each other in the name of religion? Even though this is like TV and an audience, am I boring you? I know when I'm being bored. I know when I'm boring a woman. Don't worry about it. Well, you're part of Les Mis, right?
Yes.
And have you ever met Daryl Hammond? He's been there like 75 times. It's kind of scary. He's stalking your whole show. Well, being a Broadway star at your age, do you feel an obligation to give back to your community?
Yeah.
If I ever ask you to come on here again, are you going to tell your mother to make some excuse so you don't have to come? Well, you'll just do it for the money, right? You think I'm a mediocre talent because I was never in Les Mis and I can't sing, and well, because I am kind of a mediocre talent, don't you? You have no respect for me because I can't dance like all your little Broadway buddies. Have you ever heard of me before this show? Like before you came that other time? Did you know who I was, kind of?
Kind of.
Did you know me from SNL?
What's that?
Oh, it's a show, Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
You saw me on there a couple of times? Well, people just told you I was on there, so you said, all right, I'll do this. So what happens? Your agent calls up you and your mom and goes, listen, this guy's got a show. We don't know if it's going to last or not. Well, now they do know, but we don't know if it's going to last. Why don't you go on there? It's a nice paycheck. Well, you know, you get like SAG minimum, whatever it is, after minimum, right? And then you said, I'll do it. I don't care. Was it that kind of jaded thing? It was more like, oh, my God, Colin Quinn. You know, like when I was a kid, if I saw somebody of my stature, I'd be very excited. You know, a Bruce Boxleitner. I don't know who it was. It was actually... But you seem nonplussed would be too polite for how you seem. You seem almost revolted by my very presence. Well, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and, you know, you can have these dogs if you want, or the M&Ms, or the table. You can have my job. I don't care. But thanks for coming on. I think we've really, you know, pulled the lid off the 8th Avenue beating. Folks, as much as I hate to admit it, if you turn the channel, it's going to really hurt my feelings, so please don't go anywhere.
She actually she did all right with Colin. Colin's not the easiest person to talk to anyway, especially if you're 7. She seemed very old for 7 though. She seemed very fucking mature, but then I suppose she's fucking dancer and shit. But yeah, let's go.
Oh, you may think I stunk in that last segment, but that's why I do the show for the kids. Now listen, one of the things I love about the Islamic culture is the issuing of the death warrant, the fatwa. You know, like Miss World almost got one, the woman that wrote about it, Salman Rushdie. They give over there, it's not that big of a deal. You get a death warrant like we should over here. Over there, it's like getting a parking ticket, you know? If you're a bad Muslim, you come running out of the pork store, they're like, sorry, I'm already writing it. I can't let it go. Now, this is a typical fatwa, an intercepted fatwa. And it's a Christina Aguilera, you know, because over there, they think she's crazy. It's got like, you know, Harlot, Jezebel, Carson Daly, RCA Records, 7 Jeans, you know, all kinds of things. I issue a fatwa to the first person who ever heard somebody say, we're playing phone tag. Not the person that said it first. The person that heard them say it and then said, I'm going to start using that. And a fatwa to the person who said, don't go there, and the person who said back to them, I'm not even trying to hear that. And I mean, I'm glad you didn't laugh that much, because I'm seriously mad. T-Sean, who would you issue a fatwa to?
Well, I don't like issuing death to anyone, but the Catholic Church Bishops' Council that couldn't come to a zero tolerance policy against molesting altar boys? Where's the gray area in having sex with a 9-year-old? Is it like, oh, well, what was he wearing? Did he look 14? No.
Well, I happen to like their new 3 strikes you're out policy. But listen, Nick, how about you?
I wrote mine down because when Italians, you know, we kill people, we never put it in writing. So in the name of Allah, the most beneficent and merciful, I hereby issue a fatwa against Samuel Hirsch, the attorney who is representing the fat teenagers who are suing McDonald's, for the crime of using these kids as pawns in an attempt to line his money-grubbing, filthy, rotten, greedy polyester pockets, and for reinforcing the stereotype that Jewish lawyers will do anything to turn a buck, even if it's on the backs of 14-year-old boys who look like Star Jones.
Miss Janeane, what's your fatwa against?
I would like to issue a non-violent fatwa against Lynn Cheney for her attempts to undermine free speech on college campuses across America.
James?
Well, whoever that bitch was fucking succeeded. Good Jesus.
W. Norton.
Is
the middle name W? Or I just make that up?
I would like to issue an extra violent fatwa.
You ignored me.
against Rosie O'Donnell for the crimes of being a self-righteous, hypocritical, morbidly obese manatee with bad tattoos and no magazine. Every time I hear the term cutie patootie, I wonder what a hammer would look like buried in her Easter Island statue head.
James W. Norton.
Is
his middle name W?
That fucking instrument thing is fucking well annoying. They could have mixed that better.
Or I just make that up?
I would like to issue an extra violent fatwa.
He ignored me.
Against Rosie O'Donnell for the crimes of being a self-righteous, hypocritical, morbidly obese manatee with bad tattoos and no magazine. Every time I hear the term cutie patootie, I wonder what a hammer would look like buried in her Easter Island statue head.
Well, folks,
I'm not finished. For 6 years, you had us believing you were nice and housewifey, when deep down, all you really wanted was to lay back while Madonna left a slug trail on your face.
well, I guess see, if he hadn't cut me off, you would have missed that one, folks.
I want to change my fatwa.
To Jim? Well, it's too late. We have to get the hell out of here, unfortunately. Thank you all for the, get on the jihad bandwagon, folks, yourself, and go issue your own fatwas to people that you don't like. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, she did not like Jim Norton at all. She did not find that other thing he said funny either. I can't even remember what it was, but fucking yeah, she was furious. But yeah, these are good. These are good. But yeah, this is episode 4. I don't actually know how many there are. There are quite a few, I think. But yeah. Yeah, well, that's the reaction. Sweet.